Ladies and gentlemen, behind sterile corridors and million-dollar smiles lies a truth no man dares whisper. My wife feel once my haven and out dances in circles where names are never SP only prices. The elite do not love, they consume. They call it privilege. I call it betrayal wrapped in velvet. In operating rooms I heal, at home I bleed. Her perfume still lingers, is sweet, deceitful, elite approved. I met her in medical school. She wasn't a doctor, not even a nurse. She was an artist studying across campus, with paint on her fingers and poetry in her walk. Her name was Julia. She made the world softer, quieter, and for a while, I believed I had everything. I graduated top of my class, became a cardiac surgeon, and together, we moved to Boston. Penthouse views, invitations to charity galas. From the outside, perfection. Inside, a slow, clinical decay. Julia wasn't impressed by wealth, not at first, but the circles we moved in. They didn't just invite her, they seduced. She became more than admired. She became desired, the kind of desire you don't speak about in daylight. Politicians, venture capitalists, world-renowned architects. She danced through them all, laughing at their jokes, sipping from their glasses. I watched as her voice changed, her wardrobe sharpened, her eyes stopped searching for mine. At first, I was proud. My wife, the most radiant woman in the room. Until I wasn't. I caught them slowly, piece by piece. Whispers during events, a forgotten phone call answered by mistake, a black car pulling away at midnight while she said she was with her sister. Then came the photos, delivered in a plain envelope to my locker at Mass General Hospital. No note, just proof. Julia, my wife, in a suite at the Ritz with a U.S. Senator. Julia, smiling in street bars with the man I once operated on. Julia, lying. I confronted her, of course, not with anger, but with confusion. Her tears came quickly, but not guilt. She didn't deny it. This is how the world works up here, she said. You fix their hearts, I give them what they can't buy. She said it like it was a trade, like she was still mine. But something in me cracked that night. I kept operating, kept saving lives, but I started drinking alone. Whiskey and crystal. A surgeon's hands can't shake. I had to keep control. The worst part, she kept coming home. She still kissed me goodbye in the morning, still wore my shirts around the apartment. She wasn't cruel. She was detached. I was no longer her partner, just her anchor to normalcy. Word got around, as it always does. Some colleagues looked at me with pity, some with respect, most with discomfort. They didn't ask, but their wives whispered. And the men who had touched her, they shook my hand too tightly, as if to prove something. One evening, I was invited to a private club in Manhattan, not as a doctor or as a guest. That was the night I understood the system. Men in tailored silence, women in diamond chains, deals brokered in glances. Julia was there, too, on the arm of an oil magnate. She didn't flinch when she saw me, just smiled, like we were both actors playing parts. It wasn't love anymore, it was legacy. And I, a man who had saved hundreds of hearts, couldn't salvage my own. I considered leaving. I even packed a bag, but I couldn't do it. Something about that life had hooked me too. The silence, the expensive curtains that kept secrets in. I stayed, not for her, not for love, but to understand, to study the anatomy of elite betrayal. Years passed. Julia became more careful, more selective. She started managing other girls younger than her, smarter, hungrier. She was no longer just a player, she was the curator of pleasure. For the elite, for those who believed rules were for the uninvited. I started documenting it, quietly. Names, dates, behaviors, a logbook hidden behind a panel in my office. I don't know why. Maybe to expose it one day, maybe to feel like I still had purpose. One day, I was called in to operate on a media mogul, a powerful man with a failing heart and more enemies than friends. He looked at me before going under and said, "Don't let me die. Your wife promised you'd keep me alive." He didn't make it. The fallout was quiet but seismic. Julia didn't speak to me for weeks. When she did, it wasn't rage, it was sorrow. "You chose your integrity," she said. "Now you're alone." She was right. But I slept that night.